dive right into the things with our full court press, starting the biggest news over the last few days. And it starts, J-Mike, Major League Baseball. We saw 3 North Carolinians go on day 1 and a handful that have gone on Monday, including 4 guys from the high school ranks. Let's start, J-Mike, though, with the 3 players that went last night. Starting first round, 9 straight years that we have had a player from the state of North Carolina go in the first round. It was Josh Hammond of Wesleyan Christian Academy, who went 28th overall to Kansas City. Luke Stevenson, the UNC catcher, he went 35th overall to the Seattle Mariners. He is a Wake Forest high school product, a 2023 grad. And another player from inside the state of North Carolina that got drafted from the Tar Heels was outfielder Kane Kepley. He went 56th overall to the Chicago Cubs. He helped lead South Rowan to the state title in 2022. J-Mike, looking over these names, I don't think there were too many shocks when you started to look at who was in the draft mocks.
Yeah, these were the 3 players that kind of lined up exactly where the mock draft said they would be. They were the first 3 players gone. Different backgrounds for each, of course. With Josh Hammond, that is a guy that has been stamped for a good year or more that he was going to be this kind of first-round talent. He touched 99 earlier this year in one of his games, and he's being drafted as an infielder. And then you have kind of the other end of that spectrum, Kane Kepley. This is a guy who was never big enough, never strong enough, wasn't supposed to be this kind of prospect, but went to college and proved it. He was an integral part of South Rowan, not just their first championship in baseball history, first championship in school history in any North Carolina High School Athletic Association sport. He goes to Liberty, then he goes to Carolina, and the rest is history. He gets taken on the first day.
Yeah, J-Mike, let's dive a little bit deeper into Josh Hammond. Like I said, 9 straight years of a first-round draft pick being a North Carolinian. He goes 28th overall to the Kansas City Royals. Hammond had a great senior year for the books. Last year, as a junior, he finished state runner-up on the NCISA 4A state championship with Wesleyan Christian. This year, they run it back. They beat Metrolina Christian in 2 games, a straight sweep. I think the biggest thing from that is that he went 3 for 3 at the plate. He had a 2-run home run in game 1 of the best-of-3 series, and then he was walked 6 times, but he still made an impact, like you said, on the mound. He threw 5 innings of one-hit ball in that decisive second game that set the stage for the Trojans to walk things off later that afternoon. And I think that is such a key thing with Hammond, is that people didn't know what they were going to take him as. I think there were some comps on him being like an Austin Riley product almost with the Braves, because Riley out of high school, he had that strong arm and a really good bat, and they didn't know what was going to play the best, and ended up that he stuck as an infielder. But with Hammond, it's not a bad fallback option to throw 99 and be the type of athlete that he is. Obviously, he shined a lot for Team USA last summer, won a gold medal with them, and it shows the trust that people have in him as a pitcher, that Team USA gave him the ball in the gold medal game against Panama to get the start there. But just an illustrious career split between Westchester Country Day and Wesleyan Christian, the last 2 spent with the Trojans. And obviously, I don't think if you were Josh Hammond, you could dream up a better finish to your high school career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to put this out there. I know North Carolina we love our basketball. We're the hoop state. The football talent's incredible. I don't think there's another sport that North Carolina produces the kind of, in quantity and quality, the kind of talent that baseball produces. The first rounder is
definitely
insane. And
if you look
comparable to it in any other sport that we play.
Yeah, you look at the tracker that we have up on HighSchoolOT of everybody that got selected. You start looking at the later rounds and you're like, goodness, there are guys getting taken. I think it's a testament to how strong the college baseball is in the state of North Carolina, that they're able to just go into their backyard, pick out top recruits, and develop these guys. And you're seeing players from Western Carolina, UNC Asheville. You're seeing guys all over who are, going off to college locally, developing for 2 or 3 years, and now getting into the MLB draft, and teams are taking flyers on them. Speaking of guys on day 2 that went, 4 high school players, a couple of them, were projected to go a little bit higher, but obviously had some SEC commitments. So signability was a question there, one of which being Briggs McKenzie, the big left-hander from Corinth Holders. When the first round ended on Sunday night, the first 3 rounds ended on Sunday night, it was projected that he was one of the biggest names left on the board. And sure enough, in the 4th round, the Atlanta Braves take him with the 127th overall pick. And that started an absolute frenzy, J-Mike. There were, 6 players drafted in the span of 15 to 20 picks. CJ Gray from A.L. Brown, an NC State commit, he goes off the board to the Los Angeles Angels. 2 picks later, Coy James, the North Carolina Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year, he gets picked by the Washington Nationals. I know a lot of Nationals fans feel like they got a steal in the power-hitting James. And then in the later rounds, Jake Barbie from J.M. Robinson. The Texas Rangers take a flyer on the USC Upstate commit. You might have to put those Spartanburg dreams on hold as he touches 95 this year for the Bulldogs. J-Mike, 4 guys go off the board in the college ranks. What do you think about those guys?
Kind of neat. In North Carolina, the baseball talent is not limited to one region of the state. It's not limited to the big cities, but it is kind of cool when you see 2 from the same county, like CJ Gray and Jake Barbie. I mean, from J.M. Robinson to Kannapolis, it's just a hop, skip, and a short drive. So those 2 being drafted right there. And then, like you said, there was actually back-to-back picks where North Carolina natives were taken in this draft. Barbie kind of a little bit off the radar. Everybody else, like, there are very few drafts in recent memory where you have those 4 high schoolers that are consistently projected in the first 120 or so picks. For Coy James and Briggs McKenzie to have fallen, to the 4th or 5th round, is saying quite a lot about this senior class. It was really, really great baseball class in North Carolina this year.
Yeah, and the thing to watch for, as we mentioned, was, are they going to sign? They have really good options on their plate. Gray going to NC State, Briggs McKenzie going to the defending national champions at LSU. That's not a bad option. You either go play in the Atlanta Braves system or you go to the defending national champions who had Cade Anderson, a left-hander very similar to McKenzie, just drafted in the top 5 of the draft. So it feels like, there's some pretty good shoes that he could fill in Baton Rouge. And then obviously with Coy James, he is an Ole Miss commit who made a lot of noise on the USA baseball scene the last couple of years for their 15U and their 18U. So if he ends up going with the Rebels, that could be a very strong decision for him as well. So we'll be monitoring that. And again, HighSchoolOT, a tracker of every player from the state of North Carolina that got picked during the Major League Baseball draft, rounds 1 all the way through 20.